More facts are now out on Melina Frattolin's case, the little 9-year-old girl who had a fake kidnapping in Lake George, reported by her dad and was found deceased in Ticonderoga, New York. Here they are. What was supposed to be a fun vacation with a Canadian dad and his daughter turned into a deadly hoax, a lie that an abduction with 2 men in a white van had occurred, sending New York State, local police, and many of the public on a wild goose chase. But there never was a van and there never was a kidnapping. This is the facts of the case of Melina Frattolin, a little 9-year-old girl who just wanted to spend quality time with her dad instead and turned into horror. Melina and her father, Luciano, age 45, had entered the United States legally from Canada on Friday, July 11th for a planned vacation in New York as well as Connecticut. It was just Melina and her dad on this trip. The pair were expected to return home on Sunday, July 20th to return Melina to her mom's custody in Montreal, Canada. Melina's mom and dad had been estranged since 2019. Melina resided full-time with her mom, but only seeing her dad, who had partial custody, when he could. Frattolin and her father had visited New York City and were in Saratoga Springs on Saturday evening, just hours before the ending of her life. Melina Frattolin was seen on surveillance video in Saratoga Springs at a restaurant at 5:30 p.m. that evening. Melina had called her mother from Saratoga Springs at 6:30 p.m. to tell her mom the trip was going well and they were preparing to return home. In the video of surveillance, she appeared to be in good health and she also was under no duress. So what happened between Saratoga and Ticonderoga remains unknown, as the motive, which is still under investigation. What exactly happened in those hours remains unclear, besides the known fact of her life was ended and her body was disposed of in a shallow area of a pond in Ticonderoga. This was a period of time between 6:30 p.m. when Melina called her mom and 10 p.m. when the 911 call was made. It takes an hour and 33 minutes to an hour and 43 minutes to get from Saratoga to Ticonderoga, depending on which route he took. It then takes 57 minutes to get from Ticonderoga back to Lake George, where he had called 911. Police said several hours later, around 10 p.m., Luciano Frattolin called police to say that he had pulled over a parking lot near Lake George to urinate. During Luciano's first interrogation, he had said he walked over to a wooded area in that parking lot that he pulled over, and that's when he returned to the vehicle and Melina was missing. He stated he saw a suspicious white van in the area. He then reported during another interview that a suspicious white van with 2 men inside forced Melina into the van and took off, leaving that area. Police said that they determined that Luciano had fabricated that story. Then the Warren County Sheriff's Office had found the body of Melina. Melina's body was at a shallow part of a pond in Ticonderoga, New York. How they found her was from inconsistencies as well as the technology, video surveillance, tracking of steps. Forest rangers coordinated the search and her body was found during a grid search in the Ticonderoga area. The New York State Police had taken jurisdiction over the investigation. Luciano Frattolin does not have a criminal history and he does not have any history of domestic violence as well. Melina's autopsy is being conducted today, Monday, July 21st, where her cause and manner of death will be determined. Luciano Frattolin is being charged for second-degree murder and concealment of a human corpse. He'll be charged and prosecuted in New York State. He appeared in Ticonderoga Town Court today on Monday, July 21st, and pleaded not guilty to both charges that he is facing. He is being held at the Essex County Correctional Facility until a felony hearing this Friday on July 25th. If anyone has any information on the death of Melina or had seen her and her father that day, anytime up to that week, call the New York State Police at 518-783-3211. The only questions that remain now are the exact cause of death and why. What happened in between Saratoga and Ticonderoga? Did Luciano snap, or was this all premeditated? Why does someone end the life of the very person that they are supposed to protect? Something we will just never understand.